The writers hid something in plain sight, something that reveals exactly where this story is heading. At first glance, it seemed like just another battle scene, but the ending, it's gonna break everything we thought we knew. And one character's choice here completely rewrites their arc. Stay with me, because what I'm about to tell you changes everything. After last week's cliffhanger, we all knew something big was coming, but I don't think anyone predicted this. Welcome back. If you're new here, we do honest drama breakdowns. No fake hype, no unnecessary spoilers. Now, before I break down what actually happened, and trust me, the ending is insane. There's a crucial detail from the opening scene that sets up everything, and most people completely missed it. Let's get into it. Quick recap if you missed episode 2, Mike finally discovered the truth about the Hawkins conspiracy. That moment when his face just froze. Meanwhile, 11 made a decision that, honestly, I still don't agree with, and we ended with that cliffhanger. So, did this episode deliver? Let's find out. Now here's where it gets interesting. The episode opens with a seemingly small scene in Hawkins High, but notice the background details. See that shadow in the hallway? The writers did something clever here. It foreshadows the upside-down activity we see later. Pay attention to this because later it ties directly into Eleven's choice during the climax. When I saw this, I literally had to pause and process what just happened. This genuinely unsettled me in a way I wasn't expecting. But why would the shadow appear exactly when Mike enters? Does this mean he's being watched? Remember when I mentioned the lab security glitch in episode 2? They're connected. Okay, this next part had me pausing the episode. Hopper's stealth scene isn't just suspense, it reveals a hidden communication network. Only a few caught this, but it sets up a crucial plot twist later. I didn't expect them to drop this visual clue here. Real talk. And this connects to something even bigger that we need to talk about in just a moment. Now, before I continue, if you're watching this and haven't subscribed yet, you're missing out. We drop reviews within hours of episodes. I literally lose sleep for you guys. Hit that bell so YouTube actually tells you when I upload. Anyway, back to the chaos. But here's what really made my jaw drop. Midway through, Nancy confronts a shadowy figure. The dialogue here, packed with hidden meaning. You've been lying to all of us. Straight up, that line confirms our fears about Hawkins' lab corruption. And that's not all. Notice how the camera angle frames 11 in the background. This subtle cinematography adds tension. When I watched this scene 4 times, I kept noticing new things. It's mind-blowing how layered this is. Think about this for a second. Why is Hopper avoiding the lab's main hallway? It feels too intentional to be random. And remember the shadow detail from the opening scene? It's all tying together now. 11's choice here resolves the mystery we teased at the start. But there's one more twist, and it's coming up in the final reveal. And now, the ending. If you haven't watched, skip to timestamp 8:05. For everyone else, here's what I think is actually happening. And when you see all the evidence together, it becomes almost undeniable. Remember that detail I mentioned about the shadow in the hallway and how Hopper's behavior seems strange at the time? They're connected. The energy manipulation here isn't just a cool effect. It confirms that the upside down has evolved darker than we thought. That moment, the writers have been setting this up since episode 1. We just didn't see it. Remember I said nobody saw it coming? That's exactly why this works. Here's what actually happened. 11 made a choice that simultaneously saves Hawkins and exposes a hidden enemy. Let that sink in. If I'm right about this, the next episode is going to be absolutely insane. Here's what I think happens. The Upside Down will start merging with Hawkins, and we'll see the first full-scale invasion attempt. One main character might betray the group under external influence, creating a shocking twist. Either way, I'll be breaking down that episode the moment it drops. And Hopper? I don't think he's going to survive what's coming, but that's just my theory. My rating for this episode? 9 out of 10. Here's why. What worked? Stunning cinematography and lighting, layered character development for 11 and Hopper, subtle foreshadowing that pays off at the end. What could be better? Some minor pacing issues in mid-episode. A few dialogue lines felt exposition heavy. Where it ranks in the season so far? Top 3 easily. This episode just proved this show isn't playing around. Now tell me, what did you think of that ending? Do you think 11 is truly in control, or is the Upside Down influencing her? Drop your theory in the comments. Next episode drops day. I'll be here. Will you? If you want to catch my breakdown, you know what to do. Because if this theory is right, none of us are ready for what's coming next. The truth is coming, and I don't think anyone is ready. Steve's baseball glove, Dustin's old t-shirt, Max's earrings. These little things anchor you in the world. And that's important because this finale isn't about spectacle. It's about grounding, about saying goodbye to characters we've known for years. And then there's the emotional economy. The show doesn't linger too long on any one moment. Sadness, relief, hope, they all get their time, but they're balanced. And that makes the finale feel fair. It doesn't manipulate you. It trusts you to feel it. They're not random. They set the stage for the climactic reveal. Notice the shadows. They almost mirror the upside-down creature's earlier movements. The camera is foreshadowing the merge between Eleven's power and the entity. That moment, when 11 finally pushes through, you feel the weight of every season of build-up. The cinematography, the close-ups, even the muted colors all scream, "This is monumental." Think about this. The writers didn't just create a scary monster. They created a mirror for 11 herself. Her hesitation, her fear, her power, it's all tied to the entity. Now stay with me, because this explains the ending twist everyone missed. The opening lab surge, the shadow movement, everything converges here. And here's the detail that nobody noticed. A 3-second camera shot hints at a secondary timeline. Notice how the camera lingers on the timer. Subtle, but crucial. It hints at the bigger plan for the Upside Down. And honestly, that small detail completely changes our perception of Eleven's role this season. Here's my theory. 11 isn't just fighting the Upside Down. She's being tested by the entity and by the writers themselves. Remember the opening hesitation, the lab surge. Every scene in Volume 3 now makes perfect sense. Notice the dialogue. "We're not ready for this." Simple line, but it confirms the stakes are higher than ever. And that's not all. Hopper's appearance during the collapse, subtle guidance for 11, not random heroics. And get this, the creature's behavior hints that it's learning from 11. It's almost symbiotic. Yes, I know how crazy this sounds, but look at the evidence. Shadows, powers, camera focus, all align. And here's where it gets even more mind-blowing. A small character choice earlier sets up next season's big reveal. Mike's hesitation, his expressions, their cues. The writers are foreshadowing his moral dilemma in Volume 4. Connect the dots. Everything from episode 1 to 3 now feels intentional, layered, and perfectly orchestrated. And here's the full payoff. 11's hesitation, the lab surges, the creature's intelligence, it all points to a larger truth. Opening scene hesitation, closed loop. Lab surge, closed loop. Shadow movements, closed loop. The writers have been layering this since season 1, and it all culminates here. That moment when the portal stabilizes, it's not just dramatic, it confirms my theory about 11's role as the bridge between worlds. And yes, the small detail in the camera angle foreshadows the next major threat. And honestly, that's why this episode changes everything for the season.
And we're only halfway through the story. Okay, let's break this down scene by scene. First, the lab sequences. Notice how the lights flicker exactly when 11 is about to act. Subtle cue, almost like the environment itself is reacting. And here's why this matters. It hints at a connection between her powers and the Upside Down's energy field. Think about this. Even minor characters have lines that foreshadow the ending. For example, Hopper saying, "We might not make it out." Not random, not filler. Remember the early cliffhanger I mentioned? Hopper's caution now makes total sense. Then there's Dustin and Max. Subtle glances, reactions, they're small, but they highlight emotional stakes that will explode in later episodes. And honestly, paying attention to these minor details rewards you as a viewer. Now here's the Easter egg that literally nobody noticed. The shadow on the wall aligns with the clock tower from season 2. Notice how the camera lingers on the timer. Subtle, but crucial. I've watched this clip 5 times, still finding hidden details. That's how layered this episode is. Now, if I'm right, next episode is going to blow everyone's minds. Here's what I predict.